Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Welcome to another mixed bag. Let's start with Wimbledon. Congrats to Djokovic and Rybakina. They both won the singles titles. A very impressive performance from both of them. I had picked Djokovic before the tournament in my predictions. And here I also want to say thank you to Alex Mann, who has been writing daily predictions every day on tennisnerd.net. So big thanks to Alex. I hope he wants to keep writing and contribute to Tennis Nerd. Djokovic I predicted, Rybakina I did not predict. I had Jabeur as the winner. Jabeur reached the final but lost in 3 sets. It is tougher to predict the WTA part of the tours. I think it's usually a little bit more up and down, while the 3 GOATs, or whatever you want to call them, they've just dominated the men's game now for so long. It just keeps on going. 2 titles to Rafa, who sadly had to pull out in the semifinals due to an abdominal tear, and now another title to Novak. This puts the Grand Slam race between the 3, Rafa at 22, Novak at 21, Roger at 20. So it's going to be a race between Rafa and Novak, it looks like, for who's going to get the most Grand Slams when all is said and done. I would probably predict Novak to do it now, because his body seems healthier than Rafa's. I don't know what's the status with the US Open. Will he be able to play due to the vaccination thing or not? If he won't be able to play, I would still pick Medvedev as the favorite to that tournament. Medvedev did not get to play Wimbledon. Whether that was a good or bad decision, let me know in the comments below. So Wimbledon is over, a good tournament, a lot of exciting matches. Nick Kyrgios was a finalist. I like to watch Nick. He's a bit crazy, as you know, sometimes too much, sometimes finds just the right balance. But this year he was more focused than ever, and you could see what kind of tennis he can bring when he plays his best. It didn't go all the way, but it went to the final. It would have been interesting to see a semi-final against Rafa. He did have a small meltdown in the final, which maybe we could have avoided, but this is Nick Kyrgios. You can't have one thing and not get the other with him. So that's just the story. Let's hope he makes an effort in some more Grand Slams in the way he did in Wimbledon, because it's very entertaining to watch, and I think we'll see some other deep runs. Who's going to win the next Grand Slam at the US Open? Medvedev has broken through. Maybe he can do it again. But the 3 GOATs are always dangerous, whether it's Rafa, who's going to be back soon to playing after this abdominal injury, or Novak, depending on if he can play or not. So that's about Wimbledon. We're moving on to the other parts of the calendar on the ATP and WTA tours. But instead we will have some interesting new racket releases coming up, some spin-focused rackets. So you should watch this space if you're interested in my reviews. I'm getting a few deliveries in the coming weeks from different brands. Looking at the beginning of August, we will have some interesting new review content on Tennis Nerd. Not only my opinions, but also some other play testers. So I hope you look forward to that. And there are some new rackets. Sometimes I just want to buy a racket. Sometimes I just browse to see what's new at Tennis Warehouse, which is my affiliate. So if you buy anything through the links in the description from Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Only in Australia, or Tennis Warehouse Europe, I get a small commission, so big thanks. And it goes against any product or anything. It's not something I'm pushing you to buy, really. But they have some new rackets when I was browsing. One of the rackets I kind of like for myself, and that's the CX200 and CX200 Tour Limited Edition. I like blacked out rackets. I like the smaller head sizes, 95, 98. You know that by now. But this one looks even better, I think, in the cosmetic than the quite nice red edition they have. That's the current retail paint job. But this one, the graphics, I think, look even sharper, especially with the leather grip of the CX200 Tour. So no spec changes, just a design update. That's pretty common these days that they do these design updates. Whether you buy rackets at Tennis Warehouse or any of the other retailers, they might have some special designs and cosmetics that you can buy if you are not happy with the current edition. What else is new in design? We have the Babolat rackets, the Wimbledon. I think they might go on sale now after the tournament. That should be very likely. And you have the beautiful leather gripped team version, a little bit lighter, gives you more room maybe to add some weight. You have the leather grip already, but you can also add weight, like underneath the leather grips, wrap some lead tape, maybe some silicone in the handle, maybe some weight up in the hoop, and you're going to have a kind of a pro stock ready racket. So that's an interesting frame for sure. Looks amazing in my opinion. And they have also some nice bags and stuff from the Babolat Wimbledon collection. As you might know, when they are the official sponsor, they usually get to release this very special collection from the tournament. And Babolat is responsible for Wimbledon and Wilson for the French Open, to name 2 of their slams. There are also new rackets from Solinco, basically extended versions of the Whiteout 98 and the Blackout 100. So I reviewed the 98, really enjoyed that one. Wasn't a huge fan of the Blackout, felt like a little bit disconnected to that one. And with the control aspect of the frame. These extended versions have higher swing weights, bigger on serve obviously, better reach. Some of you love extended frames, some can't play with them. I belong maybe to the latter category. I always struggle with extended frames. I've tried the 27.25, which is kind of as low as you can go and upwards, but it's always been tricky for me to get used to that extra length. But some of you love them, and so check out these new Solinco XTD frames, this Blackout and the Whiteout. My buddy Henrik alerted me about this racket. The KI10 ProKennex is an interesting frame because it's kind of like a pure drive style frame, a power frame, but it has the ProKennex kinetic technology, which will make it a lot more comfortable. So this one could be interesting to you who are worried about arm issues or already suffer from arm issues, but you want a comfortable racket that still gives you good power. Sometimes when you get a comfortable racket, it means that the flex is very low, meaning you won't get much in terms of energy return, meaning the balls won't leave your racket as fast and you won't get as much power. But with this racket, you will still get power. It's still pretty stiff, but with their kinetic technology, which has these micro beads moving around to the impact zone of the ball, and this actually works. It does dampen the feel a bit, but it does work from a tennis elbow savior point of view, which is the whole point. But a little bit more muted feel. Some swear by ProKennex rackets, some don't like them. That's always the case. But if you have arm issues or are worried about it, give them a demo if you can, because they are good rackets and the technology actually works. It's not just a claim. I got a question about Maxime Cressy racket as well. I don't know that much about it. It's Babolat Pure Aero 2016, so it is the retail 2016 version. He uses it with Solinco Tourbite 1.25 gauge at 54 pounds. That's the string sheet information I saw. I'm sure it's customized, especially for a serve and volley player. He needs a little bit extra stability at the net, but I don't know 100% where he adds the weight or how much it weighs, so I can't really answer that. But the string setup is Solinco Tourbite, so you know that, and he strings it at a pretty high tension. If you want to go low in tension, you're gonna suffer from the control when it comes to volley. So I think you won't see a Manarino style tension in Cressy's string bed. Dominic Thiem is testing a new string. He was playing with RPM Power before in his third generation Pure Strike 1820 racket, customized to specs that is already on this channel. Just search and on tennisnerd.net. But he's using the Pure Strike 1820 Generation 3, and now he's testing a new string. The question is, what is it? If you go back a bit in time, when he won Indian Wells, he was playing with Head Hawk in a hybrid setup. That was a little bit hush-hush because obviously he's a Babolat sponsored player and he wants to use Babolat strings. I don't know if this is kind of going back to trying more head strings, or whether it's some kind of Hawk string, or if it's actually a Babolat string that's in the works. I don't know any Babolat strings of this colorway that he's using in the racket, so big question whether he's testing another brand or he's actually using a new Babolat string. So if you have any information, let me know. I do get alerted about these things on Instagram, so thanks to all of you who reach out. I think it was Andy who reached out and informed me about that he was testing a new string, which is always interesting. So we'll see if he can get his mojo back now. Dominic, he had a win on a lower level win, but still a win, and maybe he can build on that. New string, new win, and a new wind in the sails, hopefully. Big thanks to the sponsor, Fuzzy Yellow Balls, and their singles playbook. Great way to learn plays and tactics and strategy, and these things that many recreational players such as myself overlook. This is why I bought this a year ago. Didn't think they would sponsor the YouTube channel, but now they do. I'm happy about that. So how to rally versus a pusher, different strategies on to beat serve and volleyers, aggressive baseliners, stuff that you can actually use in match play and that will take you to the next level. And it's all done through videos, so you can use the QR code or go to the website, and then you have this as a kind of a guidebook. Fuzzy Yellow Ball Singles Playbook. check it out. Link in the description. If you want to support the work I do, please check out patreon.com/tennisnerd, where you can subscribe, get more content, and help me out there. Otherwise, use any of the links in the description to buy something, and I get a small commission. Thanks a lot, have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.